And welcome back. Don't ask, but we're back. And we're back just in time for a bit of summer raffle action, because I know some of you are waiting for that. Now, Johnny, are you able to see the stream as well?
I am.
Well, not necessarily the stream, but or the one that I've got in Discord for you guys.
I see the Discord.
Yeah, because I don't want you to miss your big moment in the sun. Because earlier on today I thought, hang on a minute, we need to make sure that there's a background on the go for whilst we're drawing the summer raffle. So I asked Johnny to draw us a little background. So Johnny got his crayons out.
Oh, you're a gold star.
Are we putting it on the oNiD fridge?
Yeah, bit questionable with the double F and raffle. You know, work on your kerning maybe, Johnny, but otherwise, you know, A for effort, you know, top mark.
I hate all of you. Makes sense now.
He's still feeling the effects clearly.
Okay, so we're going to do the raffle. There is 12 prizes to give away. If you win a prize, that is you've done. So if you get pulled out of the number generator that I'm doing, you can't win more than one prize. So there is 12 to give away. We're going to start with the bottom prize and work our way up to the main event. So I'll get cracking. So the first prize is a Ben 22 livery of your choice. So Ben will make you a livery for ACC free of charge and to anything you like. And we are giving that away to, drum roll please, Ian DePuta. So next are the 5 £10 vouchers to give away. So these can either be Steam or Xbox. It's up to you. So the 5 winners, the first of the 5 winners will be Heike van der Veen. The second winner is, drumroll, let's go through my numbers, Matt Holman.
Hey, this is a summer raffle, okay? The fanfare is
that
needed.
Matt Send It Holman?
Matt Send It Holman, yeah. The third voucher goes to Steve Bain. Nice work, Steve Bain. Then the fourth one will go to R. Van Blitzen. So, yeah, brilliant work. But Mr. Van Blitzen, he wins himself a voucher. And the last voucher is being given away to Hydronox.
I will say I will put that on. I'll give that away at the main event. I will put my own little prediction on that race, and we'll see who in the chat can get that one.
Fantastic, thank you, Hydra. Awesome. So the next prize then is an oNiD T-shirt, and we are giving away to. This couldn't go to anyone better. Princess JT. It was, yes. So now the oNiD hoodie is being given away to Hygen Zero is winning the hoodie. So I will just say while I'm typing this into my spreadsheet, if anyone who wins a prize is to just drop me a message and let me know sizes and stuff if they win merchandise, and we will go from there. Now, our good friends at simracing.gp have donated a hoodie, and that is the next prize we are giving away, and that is going to Krabby Philly. Well done, Krabby. You win yourself the SGP hoodie. Fantastic. Now we're getting to some of the bigger prizes. We have a Sim Stuff button box to give away.
Gasp.
Lovely made and produced by our very own Adam D at simstuff.com, and that one is being given away to Moritz Wagner.
Congratulations.
Not too far. I'm pretty sure he's Germany. Now, Jimbo, is Jimbo still here?
Hello.
He is. He has kindly donated a HyperX microphone to give away. So and Jimbo will be praying that it's not going to anywhere absolutely random. And that one is going to Chris Martin. So Chris Martin has won himself the HyperX microphone.
I'll swing that by later on.
Swing that, yeah. Just drop it around his house, shall we?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So the next prize then to give away is our main prize in this one, and it is a 256 gig SSD drive. So that is being. You didn't indeed. Naughty, naughty, naughty. I'm picking people off the number generator that have already won prizes, so that's not good. So this one then is going to Mr. Paul Shepherd. So Shep has won. The mad Aussie and good friend of oNiD. He doesn't live in Australia, no.
How are those export tariffs looking these days?
So no, that was really good. So there are your prizes. That's the prize draw, just in time for the driver briefing. So well done to everyone who has won a prize. Thank you to everyone that bought a ticket. It all goes towards the running of oNiD and keeping our servers going on the Xbox side and other bits and bobs that we pay for. So really thank you very much. And we will do a winter one as well in December where hopefully we'll have some better prizes to give away. So thank you everyone. Yeah, whatever.
Is Adam going to be our resident Father Christmas? He's always after emptying. No, I'm not going to say that.
we should get a signed copy of the summer raffle prize draw commemorative display we have here from Johnny and put that in for the next raffle we do.
Oh, good God.
And we make them edible.
Oh no, actually, for the Ben 22 livery, it already has the base right here.
One.
Right. I'm going to go and do the driver's briefing. Enjoy.
Bye, Jimbo.
Not Johnny's handiwork, of course.
Yeah, Bo Lamberts wanted to chime in with a quick good luck for everyone today. He can't race due to exams, so I will just say best of luck on the exams. Thank you for prioritizing, perhaps. I mean, we all love racing for sure, but I've seen a few folks around, with exams this time of year, so best of luck with those.
Yeah, good luck, Bo. And it'll be good to see you back on track at some point very soon. Talking of a Ben 22 livery, look at that.
He's studying to race better. I'm sure he's studying the racing lines. Like he's just working on setups. I think that's all he's doing.
Honestly, Bo's got quick enough just lately. I don't want him to go any faster, please. Thank you very much.
Right, guys, I'm going to go into the driver briefing as well, so I will see you shortly.
Good. Right, Johnny's off to be told how to drive.
Yep.
And, meanwhile, we're just watching some of these guys off the back end of the free practice session. We've got a little while before the action really gets going in the... so this is what we're watching now, if I can get my words together, is the split 2 of the GT3s and Lamborghini Super Trofeo Cup cars. So a real mixture of vehicles on display for this one. But Hydra, I don't know if you've caught any of the streams from the past couple of weeks on the Sunday evening, but this is the first time that we've had Split 2 shown this season.
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely watched all the streams that you've been putting out, but my memory is foggy at the best of times. But like I am glad to see the Split 2 lads getting some love. Actually, yes, I haven't seen Willie Black racing, so that would indicate that it was Split 1 previously. Sammy in the chat asking who's going to win this race, though. I'm going to throw that to you as the resident person familiar with these lads. Who do you think has the pace?
Well, obviously, if I was driving tonight, then I
would
win it. But
I'm
not, so I can't. But I've got a good feeling about Alex Parkin tonight. He's up there on pace. What will be interesting is where Johnny's pace puts him, because he was very quick last week. So yeah, that could be interesting to see where Johnny pops himself up. But he's not had as much practice time as everyone else because he's been in here doing the driver's briefing and sorry, he's been in here doing the summer raffle. My God, what has happened to my brain? Don't answer that one.
I think that wasn't the only thing that switched off during the break there.
Womp, womp. Yeah, very true. Very true. I shall have to consult Caden Computers, where you go for all of your technical inquiries. Did you like how I segued to one of our sponsors there?
Absolutely indeed. As I, with a callback to previous oNiD streams, just defaulting to the good old phrases. Yeah, no, I'm really curious to see how how this split gets on a track like this. I was gonna throw this out to raffle off my winning from the raffle to give away my, I think it's a Steam or Xbox voucher. I'm going to assume the presence of a drive-through in this race, right? So I'm going to give away to whoever can call out on chat. We can kind of go by Price is Right rules in terms of what lap do we think the first drive-through is going to appear on. So we have, is it a 30-minute race or no? How long is the main event?
45-minute race.
45 minutes. So we'll go by a number of lap, or whichever lap.
Oh, Hiker said lap 4, so he's first one in. So lap 4's gone. So Hiker's knocked that one in.
I suppose if anyone's feeling a bit more daring, they could pick a lower number to go for that. But yeah, lap 4. We'll go by
lap
whoever puts the number
really
in first.
early.
Yeah, that's. I mean, there's plenty. That's like what, like about 5-10 minutes, that kind of range you're looking at. And he's not going to make that happen on his own. Yeah.
Oh, someone else has had a guess. Look, lap 14 says someone quite attractive.
Adam Diak.
Yeah.
Must be a Dutch name. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least with a voucher, you don't have to do postage, right? So
postcard.
So basically, if anyone else wants to go at this, then just type in there what lap you think. So Beef's in there with a lap 12, JT's gone with a lap 10, Phantom Sage with a lap 8. So just type in what lap you think the first drive-through penalty will pop up. If you get it right, then Hydra will donate his £5 Steam or Xbox voucher that he won in the raffle directly to you. So have a go. I'm hoping for lap 14.
Hello?
Lap 6 from Ben22. Evening, Ben. And he's just hit the old subscribe button as well. So good job there, Ben. He's been subscribed for 15 months and it's been worth every single penny. I mean, look at the high quality of stream that you get where it switches off just at the end of the race.
I mean, I would argue that is the best time for a stream to randomly switch off, because at any time prior, you would be absolutely screaming at the monitor. But yeah, I mean, the subscriptions on Twitch, obviously valued as much as the same folks who are buying tickets to the raffles or contributing in other ways. I would also say just like even being a member of the Discord and, racing week in, week out is, the community does kind of keep the lights on as well. So you see an Audi, is that parked in the pit exit?
I think that was parking.
Living up to his name. Oh, as we have...
Yeah, parking by name, parking by nature. Well,
she saw look to be some I would call traction control antics with was it an AMG in the pit lane? Get a bit hot and heavy.
Oh, was there a McSpin? Was there from?
There was a McSpin indeed, as we have the presence of How's Johnny keeping?
Hello.
Good
Hello,
chat.
hello.
Have you done any practice for this, Johnny?
Nope. But it's okay. I've got a Jimbo Bancy set up.
Oh dear.
He's practiced for 30 minutes in the GT4 support race, Adam. I'll have you know, which we'll know in the Chevrolet will absolutely carry through to what car is he driving? Oh, the Beamer, perfect. Like they're pretty much the same car, really.
They're identical.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
McTwist.
We'll have to see how we get on, to be honest.
So, did you win last week?
No, I didn't win last week.
Ouch.
came
Why not?
fourth last week.
Why didn't you win, Johnny?
I very rarely win. I think I've won once in 18 months.
I don't know why, but I was convinced you won last week.
No, I got pole position.
Hmm.
But then I got into a little bit of bother early on, and I had to fight back to fourth. I think I dropped down to about 12th, 13th, and then I had to fight back to fourth. But no, I managed fourth. So
Was it Parkin that won last week?
it was.
Hmm. I knew it was somebody that I was familiar with that had won.
I'm sorry, Johnny. We had to make you relive that traumatic moment where you only got pole and didn't win last week's race.
Fine.
Johnny,
You're hoping to-
Adam's got to be nice to me. He's my teammate in the Jimmy 2.4 beginning Friday.
does that mean that you got to be nice to me as well?
No,
Why?
because I can do it on my own.
Yeah, you could. You'd probably be quicker.
Yeah, but he's going to be okay. But Johnny's going to be driving in his like. So how long? Like how many teammates do you have?
So it's just us two.
How long is that event?
Kingsy's here.
Oh, sorry, it's a 2.4. Okay. I was thinking 24. Never mind. But you see, Johnny, now you have to be careful if you are doing both stints. If you have ostracized Mr. Adam D enough to not be your teammate, because you're going to be midway through your stint. On your second stint, you might be feeling a little bit peckish, and you're going to look to your right hand side, and you're going to see. Not where the button box would be, but you're going to see a good old packet of Crayola crayons, and you're going to think, feeling hungry, aren't I?
Yes, thank you. Who invited Hydra?
You did.
I believe it was exactly you that invited. I'm getting ready for I believe the beginning of the GT season that we have kicking off on Tuesday, have we not?
Yes, GT4 do kick off. Is it? No, second evaluation week is this week, and then they kick off.
Oh, that's right.
the following.
It was pushed back a week, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
My internal calendar had not been pushed back. I struggle enough chatting to folks across time zones so that that's a few hours out. But I fully expected I would be missing a full week, so that's good to know. So the STs around here are popping in some good times, it looks like.
Yeah, Johnny, where do you think these guys are going to stack up tonight? Do you think they can get in and amongst it a little bit more because of the some of the longer straights at Misano?
Yeah, I think they'll be mixing it right in with the GT3s. I think that back straight will be it'll be tough on the GT3 boys as well, because if the ST we know is quick in a straight line, so if that gets past, but it's going to break a lot earlier into the corner, so I think it might. Hopefully, it won't catch too many people out, but it may well do.
I had a question for you, and I can't remember it now, so it must have been really good.
Oh, I have a question. Yeah, Adam, you had a question for Johnny. What was it?
Who invited Hydra? That was my question. Oh no, that was it. I'm just choking.
This emergency medical situation brought to you by Go for the Gap Racing, one of the sponsors we have this evening.
Indeed. Yes.
or would you prefer, would you prefer RacingStronger.com?
Please, I could do with a bit of that right now. Or even just talking stronger would be good. I choked on a bit of chocolate. That's not good. No, Johnny, I was just thinking. Tell us what's coming up this week at oNiD, because there's quite a lot going on.
Is there?
Is there not?
There's not much this week. We have obviously the evaluation race for the GT4s. That's going on Tuesday. We do have the beginning of the Rookie League.
Yes, which is a huge thing.
It is a huge thing, but it's one of the only things that we've got going on in oNiD really this week. So it's a quiet week for us.
What's happening on Friday?
But that's not just oNiD, is it?
You
said oNiD.
Yeah.
I think the Xbox League is kicking off on Wednesday.
Right.
Oh, it is. You are correct.
So hang on.
But we need the Xbox circuit in here, which is exactly why Johnny invited me onto this. So thank you very much, Johnny. Extreme Beef, very happy to hear that, in fact, they have not been forgotten about by the PC overlords. It is, in fact, the beginning of the new season on Wednesday evening.
So when I say it's a big week, there was lots going on at oNiD. I mean that number one, there'll be the next episode of the podcast out on Tuesday. So that will be exciting, of course.
I'm not allowed on that one.
You can come on it if you want, but I might take a week off if you do. So we've got the next version of the podcast coming out. Oh, that should be out on Tuesday. We've got evaluations. The next evaluation for the GT4 League is off and running. We've then got the start of the Xbox League, as Hydra quite rightly said. Well, no, the second evaluation for that, as Johnny pointed out earlier. We've then got the start of the Rookies League on Thursday, which is going to be tremendously exciting, and a whole new stream team live on air for that one as well. Then on Friday, as part of the wider expanse of oNiD, is the start of the Jimmy Broadbent powered by oNiD 2.4 hour series. So what more do you want, Johnny?
Well, you've actually missed off Monday. Monday we have a Jimmy powered by oNiD ACC event, and it's a British GT4 event with 3 15-minute races, with only Ginetta, McLaren and Aston Martin GT4s allowed for the evening. So that's actually going on Monday as well.
So literally, we've got a calendar packed full of absolute juice this week.
It's going to be a busy week. It's going to be an entertaining week, that's for sure.
Yeah, that calendar bot that you have on the Discord and the tweets that do go out on the socials have valuable for me to kind of keep tabs on, just like what exactly does go on. It is an action-packed week.
It is indeed. Jimbo's in chat, by the way, and he says, need a Wish Jimmy event. And then he said, although that sounds like I don't have long left. Well, you know.
Make a Wish Foundation for Jimmy Manson. Well, if he keeps talking to Joe the way he does, we might be having to make a Wish Foundation.
That is true. That is true. And talking of... no, I can't think of what I was going to say. But we're watching Willie Black live on screen. So there you go, Hydra. Do you want to talk to us about your fellow countryman?
Yes, I just want to say, I mean, I don't want to be biased, but when objectively he's racing with the best livery on the field, it's kind of hard to, I'm curious to see how he's getting on. I haven't actually raced with Willie in a long time, it feels like. He abandoned the console plebeians I think it was like last year, the year before. And so I've really only interacted with him briefly on the old Discords. He did have his own Discord server at one point, and I occasionally spam gifs on that. He doesn't check it too often, and so it's just a few people that just occasionally remind him, hey, this server exists.
Hang on. Willie Black has his own Discord server.
Does
he does. It was I think the intent of it was to what was it for?
The man
It was
can't
for-
even
Oh,
spell Discord.
Wasn't it for the when we were back in Project Cars days?
Yeah, it was for keeping tabs on just like spreadsheets and stuff. But yeah, no, it's let's just say it's lingered on too long, and now its presence is becoming rotten to its core. And
Are you talking about his Discord or just Willie himself at that point?
Life imitates art.
Oh dear. Guido Games is asking in chat, Johnny, where can he find the raffle results?
I will post them up after the race, but I'm a little bit busy right now.
Is that because you got a steering wheel in your hands, or at this moment in time, do you have a cigarette in your hands?
He's riding the sausage, I believe.
Giggity. Yeah, I do have a bit of both. All three.
Whoa. Hang on. When you say both, are we talking about the cigarette and sausage riding?
Yes.
He's supposed to have the cigarette. No, it doesn't matter.
Well-
Willie Black has gone third, by the way. Marek Chittil is currently fastest in the Lambo STs. So the first part of qualifying is your Lambo STs. So it's Chittil, DeVroid, and Black, the only three with the time on the board so far. So we're waiting for Anderson, Reinars, Ola, and Arts to set a time. Arts is out in the correct part of qualifying this time as well, which is good.
Good start.
Yeah, I think maybe he just thought like STs are first in qualifying, and then that's just like par for the evening, and that's why he went out first in the GT4s last time. So we're gonna put this down to not entirely his fault. Oh, as we have some very close times in pole there, 2/10.
Dude, Martin Reiners has gone off at turn 1, just brought it to a stop. So let's pick up Marek Chittil. Do you know what, that colour scheme really suits this car, doesn't it?
It does. I would say it's a lesser version of Willie Black's color scheme. I will also point out for the point of consistency that actually Willie Black's livery is only let down by the lack of white on it. That's all I'm going to say. But actually, then again, with a name like Willie Black, I could be forgiven for substituting the black or the white for the black. But
I was going to say it's being driven by the whitest man you've ever met.
I don't know where to go with that statement, so I'm not.
I saw a picture of Willie a year or two ago, and it's one of those things where it's like he doesn't have a voice I would ever put in that face, but because I do believe he either plays or has played a spot of rugby in his prime, and let's just say that he drives exactly how I would imagine a rugby player would drive, and that is with a fury and a passion that is unbridled. Which I know.
When you said the first time you saw a picture of Willie, I thought you were going to follow that up with, I was very disappointed.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say disappointed is the word.
Oscar Anderson out through the final corner now, and crosses the line and sets a valid lap this time, goes fourth. So what we're looking at right now is Chittil, DeVroid, Black, Anderson, Ola and Reinars. So only Art's yet to set a time, with just a couple of minutes of qualifying for the Lambos to go, and then it will be the GT3 turn. I think GT3s could be really, really interesting tonight. You've got the likes of Parkin, Johnny himself, and Dirk Botha. All promising some good pace out there. You never know where the likes of Van Rooyen or Rounton could pop up, yeah, that could be a fascinating battle through GT3 tonight. And of course Ryan Davies as well can throw a surprise in here and there.
Absolutely, I'm just mesmerised by Anderson's gorgeous green livery. A lot of green on the field tonight. Loving it. Absolutely loving the warm welcome I have to doing comms on oNiD. Thank you.
Wow.
It's all for me. We know it. We know it. Oh.
He's given a warm welcome to the track limits there as well.
Yeah,
So
coming from the fast and trickies down to the slow and steady.
That's right. That's the section we pick up with Chittil now, who is flashing purple, looking like he's. Oh no, he's just dropped a little bit of time now as he comes. He's actually very early on in the lap. Martin Reinars, meanwhile, is 6/10 up on his best, so he's looking at finding a absolute chunk of time out there. But Marek Chittil now flashing purple once again, and this will be his final lap of qualifying. He's not going to lose pole because De Vroid is back in the pits now, and Willie may be 6/10 up, but that is not going to be the 1.6 gap that he's got. So Chittil looking good here for pole.
Really just kind of looking to finish on a flourish, I suppose. Woody Black experiencing something that I've experienced many times, which is the joy of seeing a green +6/10 up on your time, and then coming through the finish line and just not changing position. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, there's nothing as frustrating as taking a huge chunk of time out your best lap and you're not going anywhere on. Same goes for Martin Reinars, who just took something like 1.6, 1.7 seconds off his best time and went nowhere with it, apart from getting a lot closer to Anderson. Arts hasn't set a lap in qualifying, so we'll start at the back of the grid. Chittil...
Penance for his support race antics, no doubt.
Indeed, yes. Chittill's done as well, so the only person left to finish qualifying is Willie Black. He's half a second up, so he's dropped a little bit to the middle. It's going to end nastily. He held it.
Absolutely fantastic save.
He's drained away all of the time that he was up. So impressive save, Willie, but that she wrote, really. So,
I suppose this is the other side of the coin, where it's like, if you're happy enough to see +6 and in the green and you don't change any positions, probably for the better that you invalidate that lap and you're still P3 for the class. Oh, look at these liveries! Goodness me!
So he is a beaut, and that is the Joe Gibbs Racing BMW of Johnny Ashley, picking up another NASCAR livery. Good work there from. I assume that's a Ben 22 Racing livery, Johnny.
It is, mate. Yeah.
Good. Right. Well, we'll let you crack on now as you start qualifying. But we'll see how some of these guys get on. We're also going to keep an eye on Alex Parkin as well, who's just coming out the final corner now in his Audi. So I expect these two guys to be right up at the sharp point by the end of this session. Be interesting to see how they get on their very first lap. Hydra, what's your kind of strat for qualifying? Do you go bank a lap and then try and build from there, or do you go all guns blazing right from the beginning?
I tend to go, because I would only pop in fuel for the full session of it, so I don't want to go back to the pits at any time. So I'm generally taking the first lap to kind of maybe the first one is a banker lap. Maybe I've it depends on how early I've invalidated the lap in terms of okay, if it's corner turn 1, then I'm just gonna blitz it through and try and get some heat into the tires and then kind of go from there. But yeah, I think I do like the safety of having at least one banker lap in there and then just try and improve rather than kind of go all guns blazing right out the gate.
Well, it looks like Alex Parkin is on a similar kind of strap. He's not scaring every single apex out there, but keeping it neat and tidy and getting himself through the fast and tricky section. Did we call this one slow and steady in the end? Something like that?
Yeah.
I
think
the Mass Sausage left the Rooney. He goes through that one to the final corner. And Van Rooyen goes fastest so far with 36.9. Let's see where Parkin goes. He goes to the top with 36.4. So he is our fastest at the moment. Botha almost sneaks it. As Adam starts coughing again, that's a good sign. Now that's a pretty livery as well, isn't it?
It's pretty swell. Oh, but yeah, they had the old Gulf McLaren colours with a modern twist.
That is an absolute peach from the SSR Motorsport car of Dirk Botha.
We have a new pole sitter.
Tojan Anderson goes fastest. We didn't call him out at all in any of our predictions, so sorry Tojan for that, but yeah, the McLaren goes fastest, 1:35.8, the new pole time. Alex Parkin improving well on his second lap. He's half a second up. We haven't got time from Johnny or Neil yet. I can only assume they invalidated their first attempts, so they will crack on through this. But both are 6/10 up, Parkin 4/10 up. So these guys really pushing on their second lap as they come through this final sector now, and both are now flashing purple. Parkin was flashing purple very, very momentarily, but it's now both are doing it as Johnny Ashley pops up into third. So a good solid lap from Johnny, considering he's had not a lot of track time here, and Botha now comes through the final corner, still flashing purple. Alex Parkin invalidates his lap, starts a new one, and Botha goes to the point by 55 thousandths of a second. This one's going to be close, isn't it?
Absolutely. I feel like there's still like 4.5 minutes left. I think we're going to see some very close margins by the time we finish up. Even looking down through the thing, we'll say like, you know, P6 and 7, only 98 thousandths between them. This is, I'm loving this. Even Parkin and Ashley so close together.
Yeah,
Coconuts
really
banging around all over the place.
Now, talking of peachy liveries, check yourself out this Lexus. Now, the Lexus is a tricky beast around Misano, as I found out both this week and last week. Hiker with a nice ATTN 2 Monster RacingStronger.com mix livery there. Nice blend of colours, and he's got Sam Roughton directly behind him in another Lexus. Let's see who is on the charge this time around. It is Alex Parkin once again. He's 7/10 up now and flashing purple. Make that 8/10, 9/10. So Alex pushing on, but he's catching traffic towards the end of this lap. So will he stay just far enough out of trouble to pip himself onto pole? Dirk Botha is currently a pole man, but here comes Alex Parkin. He is 8/10 up now, and he is going to go to the point right now. Does by 92 thousandths of a second.
There is barely anything separating this. That's been reduced to 75 as Botha goes through the line. It's going to be, oh man. But like, so the other thing is, like, Parkin, after running into that traffic, he might not have any more hot laps left in him, or like, you know, he might only get 1 or 2 in, whereas the rest of the lads, depending on where they are on the track, might have that kind of advantage where they can just keep the rhythm going and perhaps eke out a few more tenths. There is so little separating the top 3. It is fascinating.
Yeah, any of those top 3 really could find themselves very quickly on pole if they string it together just a little bit more. Ryan Davies currently 4th. That's a solid performance from the Aston Martin driver. Johnny Ashley just behind him by a few thousandths, and then Sam Roughton and Van Rooyen are super close together in 6th and 7th as well. Heike van der Veen 8th. Then McNeil has got a time in and is 11th overall behind a couple of the oh, sorry, I missed KD. So KD's in 10th, then McNeil is 11th, then Medina 13th, and Beaucamp 14th. Johnny is 5/10 up on this lap, so this could put him 4th if he holds it all together. Oh, it's gone 6/10, so yeah, he goes 4th and gets himself right in that mix as well. Just a couple of tenths off Tojan Anderson we've switched to now because he was momentarily flashing purple, but Johnny's not out of this one, is he, Hydra?
No, he's actually got a knack to like finishing his runs very close to the timing line. So he kind of crossed the line there with a minute 4. So that's going to give him time for another 2 laps. You would think, unless something happens, which could be the difference between P4 and somehow any bit higher. As we have Anderson coming through. How's he looking?
Doesn't improve in the end. He was up for a long time, but then just dropped back towards the end. So right now, mixture of purple flashes as Alex Parkin brings out a yellow flag. He's off. So the question is, can Alex get round to start another lap? Because Dirk Botha is now flashing purple. No, Alex is done. So Alex Parkin is done in qualifying. Now, the last 2 rounds, Alex Parkin has been on pole until the very final seconds of qualifying when it's been stolen from him. Last week it was Johnny Ashley. The week before that, I forget who it was. But could the same be about to happen here? Alex Parkin on pole at the moment, but could it get stolen away from him by Dirk Botha?
He'll have to pull out a cracker of a lap because he does have the pressure. There's a potential pole on here, but he just has to keep it clean.
He's a 10th up as he heads into the final corner. Make that 2 tenths now. He's still flashing purple, so I think Dirk Botha is going to move pole here. Let's find out. He does by 2 tenths. Now let's switch to Johnny Ashley, because Johnny is 10th up very early on this lap. He kept it just about within bounds there, but has dropped the time. No, it's invalidated for Johnny. So that's game over for him. I think that's pretty much everyone done in qualifying. No, Danny Medina still going. But he is the only car currently improving, and in fact currently on a lap. He's 3 tenths up on this lap. Once Danny's done, our qualifying is done. So he's 5 tenths up as he crosses the line now, and he moves himself up to 11th. Nice job.
Yeah, another qualifying of very fine margins there. The top 3 or 4 within that half a second.
Zajo1504 with the follow. Thank you for that. Let's just check out your grid. Dirk Botha took pole in the end, stole it from Alex Parkin in the last few seconds. Alex Parkin will start second. Then it's Johnny Ashley, Tojan Anderson. Then it's Van Rooyen, Davies, Routen, Van der Veen. Your pole man in the Lambo STs is Marek Chittle, mixed in and amongst the GT3s. Then you got KD, Danny Medina. McNeil is 12th. Then second place in the STs is Baz de Vroid. Then you got Beaucamp bringing up the rear of the GT3s tonight. Then the rest is all STs. That's Willie Black, Anderson, Reinars, Ola, and Arts. Qualifying's tired me out.
Yeah, and Dave in the chat just saying, for context, pole in split 1 was a 133. So we have, we'll say, like 2 very strong fields, it looks like. But both are, managing to just nab that pole position away from Parkin. So we'll have it all to play for going to these first few laps. I wonder if we'll see something similar to the support race, where the leaders will kind of break away early on, or is it going to be a rather close few laps of racing to get us starting off?
Well, the support race was incredibly clean at the start. It was a few laps in where we got a touch of carnage. But I just wonder whether these guys can keep it as clean at the start. By the way, if you're new to watching ACC, if you're wondering why some of the cars are bouncing up and down, it's as people are sat on the grid, where they're making last-minute changes to their car, whether it be a small setup change or just fueling up the car for the race. When they press drive, so they come out of the setup menu, the car bounces itself back down again. So quite often you'll see people do that very last minute in GT3, so that they've got the tyre warmers on for as long as possible.
Yeah, I think with the last kind of tyre update they've had, or tyre model that they've changed, like, that's less of a concern. But it's still, I suppose, some habits kind of die harder than others. So I think they've opted to just kind of play it safe and get as much time with the warmer tires as possible.
Yeah, I think it's much more important where you've got a short formation lap as well. But obviously here tonight we have a full formation lap. So we've got a 45-minute race coming up with one mandatory pit stop for tyres. So we've also got pit stops to bring into the mix for this one. I have realised that I haven't actually switched off the prediction for race one, so we'll just quickly do that. What was our final number? Was it 5?
Yes.
Just fix that.
And I suppose just a reminder, if anyone wants to get a chance at winning the is it £10 Steam voucher or Xbox?
Yeah.
5.
£10.
Oh, it's
10.
Sorry. Wow.
Yeah, it was 5 for the other tier, and then it bumped up to 10. So what lap do you think in chat we will get the first drive-through penalty? I'm assuming there's going to be one. Misano is an absolute pleasure for endowing us with drive-through penalties, especially when you throw a pit stop in there. Just kind of more excuses to speed in the pit lane, or have all that kind of fun
we've got
stuff.
An extra opportunity for drive-throughs in this one.
Yeah, that will be a stop go 30. We can get into the specifics. Well, I suppose for the purposes of giving away the.
Drive-through as well. For
Ooh.
speeding in pits.
I see.
Depends on whether you speed on the way in or the way out.
Was it slow in, fast out? Same applies for pit entry.
Let's not go there. Zajo's gone.
Yes.
Lap 1, wrong position at the start. That's a great.
That is a great shout indeed, especially because that'll pip. Was it Van der Veen that had guessed lap 4? That is very, very well played.
Well, we're about to get going, so we'll soon find out whether it was lap 1. Hydra's going to keep an eye on what lap it comes. Meanwhile, we're waiting for the green light. There it is. And Dirk Botha makes a reasonable start, but Alex Parker a lot faster, and we've got cars round in the middle of the field. That looked to me like Sam Roughton and Heike van der Veen. We've got more cars off in the run down to turn 1, but both are leads from parking. Then it's Johnny Ashley. Looked like a lot of carnage in the background. We'll see if we can figure that one out a little bit later on. But right now, let's follow the leaders. It's Botha from parking, from Ashley. And then that looks like Anderson right behind him, and Ryan Davies behind him as well. So we'll wait for things to settle down. Good try, Zajo, but if the game don't say it, then it ain't happening. So Marek Chittil remains in the lead of the STs. Just looking further down the field to see who is out of position. Yeah, Medina's had a moment here. So Sam Roughton's out of position. Definitely Van der Veen I saw round early on. So yeah, I think that's where our problem lay, was in and amongst that pack. Bit of a messy start, Hydra.
I would say absolutely so, because I was perhaps caught napping, looking like keenly towards turn 1. I was like, surely it's a straight, there's not going to be any carnage there, but clearly there was. I wonder if it was. I wonder what caused it. Was there any STs that had like particularly good run? It was just like, because they are kind of like spread in amongst the pack. Well, at this stage, but yeah, no. Hopefully the lads will. When there's a pit window? Is there, or is it just pit whenever?
There is a pit window, but Adam's forgotten at what time the pit window is set for this race. So it'll be a nice surprise when it happens.
Yeah, well, I think it's generally halfway through. So
Johnny's going to tell us.
15 minutes.
15 minutes into the race. So when we get to 30 minutes remaining, that's when the pit window will open. Thank you, Johnny. We'll try not to disturb you too much, especially at this time of the race, because he has got a McLaren.
Yeah, we might end up seeing some of those lads who have taken some damage early on, diving in at the earliest opportunity just to perhaps some of that recovered if it is particularly bad.
Yeah, indeed. That's one of the things about having a mandatory stop is that you do get a bit of an opportunity to fix some damage if you've got it. Although that will, of course, cost you time in the pits doing that. We are on board with our race leader. Dirk Botha looking back at the man from Yorkshire, Alex Parkin, who is charging after him. So apparently I'm quiet again. I don't know how.
Yeah, no. Botha just trying to eke out any bit of a gap between himself and Parkin, but Parkin is piling on the pressure there. That Audi is looking very strong in that last sector. Going to turn 1, there's only 3/10 separating the two of them now. Ooh, as the Audi closes that gap going into turn 1 and again going into turn 2. That Audi very nimble around the corners, you'd say.
Yeah, Parkin right with him. I have managed to turn myself up now, by the way, so I just had to go and find another knob to touch.
And did you say turn it up or turn it on? Which? Oh, the Audi Parkin.
Oh, that's terrible for Parkin. He's dropped it and he's done some damage in the process as well. Oh,
That exit onto that straight, very deadly. The depending on how much of the sausage you have doth ridden, really comes into play in terms of how clean your exit is, and obviously just kind of catching a bit of something there, just a bit of oversteer, a bit of a tank slapper.
yeah. Parkin rode the sausage and bit the dirt as a result, and then chunked into the wall basically. So the sausage takes another victim, which is a shame because Alex was right with Botha and actually currently holds the fastest lap of the race. But let's go see how he gets on against Wihan van Rooyen, the two Audis together, and that Audi in another one of those SSR Motorsport liveries. But Alex Parkin will be trying to figure out what car he's got underneath him with a touch of damage added on for good measure. I thought he was about to run wide and touch some more sausage on the exit of that corner, but doesn't do so. Keeps it in check, but has dropped back from Van Rooyen a little bit at this early stage. What this does mean, Hydra, is Johnny Ashley's.
Goodness me, the prophecy that was foretold. It wasn't. You see, in qualifying, when you had a thought that Johnny had won before, maybe it wasn't a thought or like a memory of the past. Maybe it was the premonition of the future.
I need to play the lottery this week.
Yeah. Also, we're 3 laps in, not a single drive-through so far. So some of those early bets perhaps losing out. I'll run through the chat later to just to verify who and where.
It's going to be lap 14, remember, because if I'm doing the premonitions, then I must have got that one right as well. So it'll be lap 14. It's all good.
Careful. My feeble mind can only comprehend so much majesty in one moment.
Then you really shouldn't have joined me on a stream because there's majesty from start to finish.
We have an ST there, the black livery one, running kind of wide into the vile corner.
Let's go check in on your favourite Irishman. No offence, Hydra. Willie Black. There he is in 11th. That's second in class. Hydra now left the building.
Well, when you said favourite, when you said checking in on your favourite, directed at me, I was like, that's very kind, assuming that Willie is my favourite Irishman, but well, I guess if I was to be humble, I guess he would be. The numbers are sorely dwindling among us, so we'll take what we can get, and in this case it's Willie Black in second place for class, but he's got some pressure coming from behind. Having said that, there's a fair group of them.
Van Rooyen's got pressure from behind as well, and it is the sausage muncher Alex Parkin who goes to the outside round the hairpin. Surely you can't make that one stick. No, he can't. It was a good try though, and in the background you see McNeil and Roughton having a little battle as well. Let's check in on that one. Oh, it wasn't Roughton. It was yes, it was. Yeah, Roughton right with McNeil, goes for a move into Vile corner, and there is a little nudge there, and McNeil gets a bit twitchy on exit as a result. Marek Chittil now getting the run. Now this will be interesting to see the pace of the Lambo ST in a straight line, and whoom, straight past them both. And you can see the straight line speed of that Lambo, but look how much the GT3s gain on the brakes towards the end of that that fast section, and a big punt from McNeil, and yeah, Chittil will not be happy about that one, but that's exactly what Johnny was talking about earlier as being a risk.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, was it the ST speed on the straight was fairly rapid, alright, but I think the two cars ahead, after taking that little bit of a knock, I think as they bumped going through, kind of lifted a little bit to not gain a position, so I think that just let let Chittil just kind of mosey on through, but the debt was repaid and then some on the way into the fast and tricky and slow and steady section of the track.
Indeed, Van Rooyen getting a little sideways, trying to keep fellow Audi driver Alex Parkin at bay. This battle rages on, but there's plenty else going on, because let's go check in on Willie Black. He's got De Vroid right up behind him. Here comes Baz. He's being moved to the outside. Willie Black taking Baz to the Willie Black School of Defending. Holds the inside line, but De Vroid tries to hang it round the outside and might just get it done, you know. He has! Willie's been done!
He's passed the course with flying honours, and he's now graduated onto, he's doing his masters. Yeah, dethroned in a matter of just 2 corners.
I think Willie just thought there's no way somebody's getting around the outside at the hairpin, and De Vroid just went, yeah, there is, and just breezed past him. Talking of battles though, the Audi battle rages on between Van Rooyen and Parkin. Parkin desperate to try and find a way through. Parkin could have really done with that pit window opening early doors. Hydra, are you an early stopper, a late stopper, or do you mix and match depending on the situation?
Oh, it is entirely dependent on, have I crashed? Yes, no. Generally speaking, I will, like, if I'm carrying any damage, I'll go straight in. If I've gotten lucky so far, and this is because I've been burned in the past, the amount of times I've gone in early and then spun on my outlap, or like bumped into someone on my outlap, and then I'm like, well, now I'm carrying damage for even longer. So if my nose is clean, I'll keep it as clean as long as I can, and I'll pit as late. But yeah, it's hard to say. Like, I wish I could say I've been racing where I can actually pit as some kind of strategy to, like, you know, undercut someone, as we might see Parkin do here.
Oof. Yeah,
as he has a look down the inside
through Vile corner.
And you would think Parkin has the inside line. Oh, a little nudge, a little bump.
A little kissy. Van Rooyen continues moving right here, so they go side by side.
R.I.P. Corvette.
Fasts. Get away with it, and Parkin through. Moves up that spot into 5th, so recovering from his earlier self-binnage. Meanwhile, Dirk Botha continues to lead. 2 seconds clear of Johnny Ashley now, so that gap hasn't grown a huge amount, but just enough. And you would think that this is going to be a strategy game between the front 3 right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with a 2-second gap. Like, you can't take anything for granted with that. Like, especially around Misano, it's like, you know, if you try to eke out a gap, and like, you know, if you're trying to push to like increase that, you're just running into like drive-through risks all over the place. Likewise, you know, but the same can be said for Ashley as well. In second place, you know, trying to catch the leader, the pressure kind of goes both ways in terms of, you know, it's really a case of the cooler head will prevail in terms of, you know, keeping it within track limits, avoiding that kind of thing. We might see like a pit strategy kind of come in where someone tries an undercut, or and then who knows.
And actually, because it is a mandatory stop for tyres, there is the chance of an undercut working if your tyres are starting to fade a little bit, and maybe you can stick a fresh set of boots on and go a little bit quicker at that point. I've just gone on board with Marek Chittel because he's right behind Danny Medina here. It will be interesting to see the difference in speed down the back straight and through the fast and trickies here. Let's see how Lambo closes up until they need to get on the brakes, and then it's a different story. McLaren just moves away. So that's two different classes racing together here. This is Multiclass Sundays after all.
Yep, as we see, Chittle just kind of grabbing a little touch of the outside curbing of the exit there.
We're now on board with Heike van der Veen, who's coming up behind Willie Black. Now these guys are allowed to race, even though they're in different classes. It's interesting because that Lexus will be a lot quicker through the corners.
Yeah, you can see him almost kind of taking the line, assuming that the Lambo is going to be braking earlier.
It's be interesting down into the hairpin now. If I were Hiker, I'd probably go for the outside. Oh, Willie's decided no point, and I think Willie will let that one go. Actually, yeah, it's probably no point battling it too hard from Willie's point of view, because they are in different classes. So Hiker through up into 10th overall.
I would call that a level of restraint I've seen from Willie that has shattered my preconceived notions of him as a person.
He's quite good at it these days, actually.
Yeah, I think where I last left off with Willie, very much lead foot, enjoyed PC cars too, could just throw some of those radicals and stuff around. And then I think his first glimpses of ACC were kind of like, oh no, this ain't for me. But then I think he's kind of grown to love it over the year.
Indeed he has, and he's grown to be pretty good at it as well. I enjoyed a ding-dong battle with him at Hungaroring last week in the GT4s in the first evaluation race. That one, I'm not racing that series. Pit window's open. I'm not racing that series, but I'm doing the two evaluation races just for what's-its and giggles, really. Had a couple of absolute ding-dong battles with Willie. Really good fun. Talking of ding-dong battles, though, Parkin has caught up with Ryan Davies.
Yeah, as we have Aller going into the pits, I would say it was very marginally close. I'd be curious to see if that pit was actually valid. If it was, it's right on the money, pitted at the perfect time.
Wow.
Willie Black dove in kind of later in that lap, but yeah, I think he'd be fine.
That would explain why there was a Lamborghini parked up at the pit entrance just before the pit speed limiter line. So Ola had obviously maybe got some damage or something and had decided he needed to pit, but then realised the pit window wasn't open and just stopped just short of the line. Which, if that's the case, that's pretty smart going to make sure that it was a mandatory stop. But we'll check when he leaves the pits, as Arts is in the pits as well, and so is Johnny Ashley. So Johnny in early. He had reduced the lead to 1.9. Let's see whether Johnny can push on as a result of an early stop.
So it looks like Aller might have either had an invalid stop, or else he is just...
No, it's cleared.
Oh no, it's valid. Oh, but there was probably just a lot of damage that he had then. That makes sense. Because I saw Willie came in after him and he's gone out before him. So yeah, maybe he was just carrying a heavy load of damage. So now he's kind of good to go till the end. Perhaps room to battle with Ertz and perhaps a few others to hopefully get a position. Parkin having a very nosy look.
Yeah,
and Davies
desperate to get past Davies here. Don't forget Alex Parkin recovering from an earlier incident where he dropped it all by himself munching the sausage, and he had to back right out of that move with Ryan Davies then. I thought I thought there was going to be more contact, but no. So the guys that have stopped so far, Ashley, Black, Arts and Ola. We've got Van der Veen and Bokamp in now as well. Now, if Parkin hasn't got past Davies before the end of the lap, I expect to see Parkin dive into the pits, unless Davies does. This will be a do whatever Davies doesn't do. Oh, no.
Davies perhaps covering him. Yeah, I think so. That was beautiful. I loved every second of that.
Ryan Davies with the dummy. I mean, I've called Ryan a dummy before, but not seen him do the dummy, so good job.
We'll point out we're 11 laps in, not a single drive-through. So, Adam Diok looking very well, whoever that person is. Who could say?
Yeah. I've heard he's very attractive.
Like him to third. Oh, lap 11.
Damn
Van
it.
Rooyen.
Somebody said lap 11, I think.
I think so. I'll check it out. Post haste.
What if nobody said lap 11? Then go to the next drive-through. Oh,
I
Parkin
believe
up the inside of Davies. There is contact, but that was a really good send from Parkin. The door just closed at last minute. Davies flashing, but I think Parkin was well alongside you there, sir. And Parkin through and puts himself back up into third.
No, I'd be curious to see if Parkin's going to pit now, because you would think... I mean, he's kind of flying rapid at the moment, but he does have to pit within the next 10 minutes, so it's a matter of when, as opposed to if.
Yeah, it is. Always run very wide there. Now, Davies dives for the pits this time, so Parkin going on for one more. Let's see how he gets on. It's a short pit window tonight, just 15-minute window in the 45-minute race. So, yeah, tough knock-ins for Van Rooyen there with that drive-through. Did you figure out whether anyone had said lap 11?
Oh, I was going to check it out after the stream.
Ah! Well, let's return to the on-track action then. A few cars in the pits now, so Davies is in. As we saw, Van Rooyen is in, but I'm assuming that's to serve his drive-through. Roughton's in. Bas de Vroid is in as well, so the pit lane is a busy place right now. We're still looking at parking.
Van Rooyen in the very unfortunate situation where he is about to serve a drive-through and then a valid pit. So he's served the drive-through now, but he'll have to come back in again within the next few minutes to take that mandatory stop. So that's really throwing a spanner in the works for his race. We do have Davies coming back out, dropping a few more positions. I always love this kind of middle of the race shake up with the pit stops.
Interestingly, Johnny Ashley has well cleared Ryan Davies in pits as well. So I think Johnny was obviously well clear of Ryan anyway. But it looks to me like that gap has extended somewhat between the two of them. We'll see later on in the lap exactly what the gap is. But Ryan is 11th, Sam Roughton 12th, Bas de Vroid 13th. Now, Dirk Botha is in from the lead. Alex Parkin has gone in as well. So Tojan Anderson takes over at the point.
Absolutely inheriting the lead for this moment in time. Curious that both Botha and Parkin came in at the same time. I wonder if maybe Parkin feels like, well, he was probably due to come in anyway, but I'd be curious to see if Parkin is going to be any quicker, if he's if he's had enough damage to kind of warrant repairing it, because that would slow him initially with the pit stop. But if he feels like he can make up that time with pure on-track pace, then who could say?
I'm not sure how much it was actually slowing him down anyway. Compared to the front runners, he was about half a second slower than them, but that's whilst he was overtaking Davies. So yeah, I'm not sure how much he was actually losing in that period of the race anyway. So maybe it's not been worth him getting the repairs done.
Yeah, some of these aliens that we have driving amongst our amongst them. Like, you could take a wheel off and they'd still be finding absolutely blistering lap times. It's a credit to the, I suppose the just the inherent skill and the practice that some of these lads are putting in. Seems like nothing that you throw at them can actually slow them down.
Halfway mark in the race. That's 22.5 minutes left to go in this one. Still got 4 cars yet to pit. But Johnny has lost time to Dirk Botha in that period of the race. Gap between those two is 3.7 now, whereas previously it was 1.9. So the early stop hasn't actually helped Johnny, although we don't know whether that was because he got into some traffic or anything like that. But it is down to 3.0. So let's see whether Johnny can pump in some laps and chase down Dirk Botha and have a chance at taking the win here in Split 2. Meanwhile, there is a race going on over in Split 1. If you want to see what the current order is there, then don't forget that Ben22 Racing is streaming on his own channel. But if you're going to go check out the order there, then don't leave us here, because this is where the real action is right now.
Absolutely, and we are not being disappointed. Now, I will say, 20 minutes left on the clock. We've only had one drive-through so far. Who could say how many of these drivers are sitting on 2 warnings, 3 warnings, and just hoping, praying that they don't get that 4th one, because I think every position now at this stage looks to be fairly hotly contested. I'll be curious once we only have 1 driver left to pit, and that will be our leader. Everyone else looks to be serving theirs.
Meanwhile, Johnny has closed the gap down by another 0.4 to Botha. It's down to 2.6, that gap now. So we'll keep an eye on that one, although I think Botha had to weave himself through a little bit of traffic on the last lap. But Johnny's done so as well, and gets himself ahead of Heike van der Veen.
No, it's almost as if Johnny heard you speaking, and that's not to say that he isn't actually able to hear you. But it is great to see that he was able to make up some time there. As we have, is it Anderson still out in front? Still hasn't pitted.
Yeah, so Tojan Anderson still in the lead. He's got 5 minutes of the pit window left. So we'll see whether the first of our Andersons takes to the pits. Now, I'm going to guess that there's a bit of a Nordic theme going on here. Tojan Anderson, that strikes me as a Norwegian name. And then we've got O Anderson a little bit further down the order, and that's got 2 S's, so I'm going to guess that that's a Swedish name.
Oh, just like a Marcus Ericsson kind of vibe.
Well, I think I'm right in saying that the guy in car 100, O Anderson, at some point in his family chain, there would have been a father with the first name of Anders.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Yes, Oscar is Swedish. So there we go. Yeah, so basically, Anderson literally means son of Anders. See, you don't get this kind of information on any other sim racing stream, do you?
Not on a sim racing stream, no. You'd have to go for like what was it, like a genealogy kind of stream, of which there are too many, I would say, on Twitch at the moment.
Are they really?
No, absolutely none I can think of. But thank you for placating me.
I thought you were going to let us into a world that I wasn't aware existed.
Oh, I mean, like, I follow Susie Dent on Twitter, and like, that's great for like the etymology of like people names, place names isn't terribly something. Actually, Irish place names I could maybe get into a little bit of, but other than that, not too much with the place names. Although I suppose like by your logic, the Anderson stuff, it's similar to what what you'd have with like McNeil or in my case, O'Grady. It just means like it all kind of comes down from of some other family name. Yeah.
Well, answer us this question. Oh, by the way, Ashley and Anderson Anderson's come out of his stop, and Johnny's just about managed to get ahead of him, but this is going to be a battle for the ages right now. Anderson, of what I assume is Norwegian descent, based on the name Tojan, is right behind Johnny. What was? Oh, that was the question I was going to ask you. Is what is the name Hydronox? Where does it come from?
Oh, Hydronox. Oh, that is a fun tale, I will say. Ashley, Johnny and Anderson kind of battled it out. So in the early days of my online life, I was playing a lot of Halo 2, and at some point, I would say too late in my life, my family invested in getting internet access, and then I was like, ooh, yeah, they do. So it's like when you plug enough electrical cables in through a potato, and you kind of like you can generate. There's a little bit of a charge that can be run through there, but like with enough potatoes and starch and the luck of the leprechauns and all that kind of stuff. Actually, yeah. At first it was the potatoes, but then it's just like a leprechaun like running on a treadmill kind of thing. So in any case, I needed something to have an online presence, and I had been playing a bunch of games on the GameCube, with which my moniker was simply Nox, Nockz, a name that was probably immediately stamped up at some point at an Xbox Live's early history. And then it was literally Xbox Live generated a bunch of like prefixes or suffixes for the name that you suggested, and I was like, Hydra's pretty fucking bitchin'. And there you go. Also, like using my real life name, which is just Paul O'Grady. I'm like, great. It's like having a moniker as a moniker. So.
Yeah, that would effectively make you the Lily Savage of sim racing, right?
Absolutely. And should I ever grace in the PC land, it would be Savage Racing all day, every day.
Talking of Savage Racing, Johnny Ashley is holding on to second at the moment from Tojan Anderson. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to disappoint every single one of you.
Again? After being born? Oh, sorry. That was way too...
Wow!
Oh no. I haven't had my cup of tea in a while, so I think I'm just a bit tetchy. I do apologize. Please don't rescind my position for comms on Tuesday. Oh no, the silence is deafening. Have we lost Adam, or has Adam lost me?
No, I was just giving you a moment of silence for wishing I'd never been born.
I never wished that you had been born. The implication was far worse.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh yes, the reason for my disappointment, or the reason for me being a disappointment, is the fact that Tojan Anderson, he's German. Not Norwegian. That's a very Norwegian name, so I'm gonna have to ask Tojan whether he has any kind of Norwegian in his world at all. But I'm disappointed in myself, and I hold my hands up and apologise to everyone listening to this channel.
Well, I'll hold you accountable. Yeah, we're. I'm just still shocked at the lack of drive-throughs so far. I mean, so far we're sitting on exactly one, which is to say, these drivers are keeping a very tidy watch on just how close they're racing to the limits.
Indeed, less sausage munchers in this than there were in the GT4s, maybe. By the way, if anyone wonders what I mean by that, and is thinking I'm being offensive, I'm not. It's those sausage curbs. If you munch one of those in a lot of these cars, you are going to get spat off, and you are going to end up with some kind of track warning. There's another one! So Arts is our second one.
Indeed. Yeah, no, sorry, just the sausage eating, spatting off, or spat off, rather. Just a lot to take in, one could say. But yeah, no, absolutely, and we don't discriminate here in any shape or form, kink
It's a
shaming
lot
or
of
otherwise.
information to swallow at once. Johnny's
Well,
going to
just-
off very soon. Although he's a little distracted at the moment because he's got a not Norwegian, very German, but with a Norwegian-sounding name, McLaren up his chuff. By the way, if any of you want to play the Adam Bingo, then all you need to do is type in !bingo in the chat. You can get yourself the oNiD Racing stream bingo card, and you can tick off all of the funny things that I stupidly say. And some of you will have just ticked off the word chuff being used.
Absolutely.
Well, that one's not on there, believe it or not. But there we go. Yeah. Meanwhile, Tojan Anderson is sticking to Johnny like glue at the moment. So this one is a humdinger of a battle right now, as they find themselves just gliding through some of the traffic as well. But at the moment, Dirk Botha leads by 3.1 from Johnny Ashley, then Tojan Anderson right behind him. Alex Parkin has recovered himself to 4th, Ryan Davies 5th, Sam Rout 6th. Baz de Vroid now is romping home in the STs following Chittil's incident earlier on. Johnny on the flashers early doors. Now don't forget, for those of you who are long-time oNiD watchers, we have different blue flag rules in the main event on a Sunday, and that is that you have to get out of the way under blue flags. So it's similar to Formula 1, and this ST is not doing so, and he gets a Johnny punt as a result. But do you know what? You put yourself in that position, good sir. You should have jumped out of the way. Them's the rules. So Johnny not wanting to give way there because he had Anderson right behind him. That was a tricky moment, Hydra.
Yeah, it looked like Anderson was one that delivered, I would call, karmic justice to Arts there, who was like on a drive-through. You're like, due to take a drive-through, so you would think, would maybe throw themselves out of harm's way. But yeah, no, absolutely, and that's not made. Well, having said that, the gap is now almost a second and a half. So Johnny
it's actually
can
miraculously helped Johnny out momentarily, although he has lost time to Dirk Botha in front. But I don't think that's Johnny's biggest concern right now. He's very much more looking backwards at Anderson. 1.4 the gap now. Parkin is 13.7 further back, but don't forget he had that early spin, despite being involved in an early battle for the lead with Dirk Botha. But both are looking pretty good. At the moment, he will just need to make sure that in the remaining 9 minutes and 15 seconds he doesn't go and get himself any kind of penalty, which, as we've talked about so many times tonight, is so easy to do around here.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see on the mini-map indicator, both that would be the grey triangle that you see there just coming through. So there isn't really that much separating the top three at the moment, and so it really does come down to those finer margins. Also getting dealt on.
Another GT, another ST that hasn't picked up on the blue flag rules there, and then dropped it on the curb on the way out of the corner. And I thought for a moment he was going to spear back across and collect Botha.
I have lost it at
calm.
Yeah, I've lost it at that corner so many times that I'm surprised that the ST just kept it straight. I was well held, I would say.
Was indeed. Now McNeil and Chittil having a little battle over 9th overall. Chittil is into 9th. He will lose that Mercedes down the back straights because he's in the Lambo ST. But he is looking forwards. 6.5 seconds the gap between De Vroid and Chittil, who are back battling for that class win, but McNeil will now want back through in the twisty stuff. Oh, it's out wide for Chittle, so that will have been a track warning. So I don't know how many he's got left to play with, but not many. Gap out front, by the way, down to 2.6.
Is that more traffic? No. I wonder if that's well, it looks like Johnny and Anderson have the same gap kind of between themselves, so that looks like maybe both is feeling a bit of the pressure mounting.
Well, I think both are lost about half a second with the Anderson situation. But Johnny's then chipped away another few tenths off that. Let's see what the lap times are this time around. So both does a 36.3. Johnny does a 36.2. 2.8 is the gap. 6 minutes and 50 seconds left of this race. Van Rooyen brings out the yellow flag, and that looks like a full stoppage, and it's a return to garage.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing happened to him, which happened. Who was it? Parkin earlier on.
We're about to find out. Oh, he munched the outside sausage this time. Oh, that's a huge hit. Yeah, no wonder that's a return to garage.
Yeah, he managed to find the one section of the barrier where it's completely perpendicular to the angle he came in at. That's highly unfortunate.
But distinctly possible around here. I've done it myself. Both are leads then. Let's switch back to Anderson. But anyway, there we go. So both are leads. 2.7 the gap now to Johnny. 2.3 make that. So Johnny's found 4 tenths on both somehow in that middle part of the lap. So that's interesting. So Johnny still on a bit of a charge. Anderson staying 1.3 behind Johnny, so that gap is not moving at all. But that's the one we've got to keep an eye on. That gap, both to Ashley. 2.3 it is now. See where it goes. Now, of course, even if he can't necessarily close that gap, it's still worth Johnny just pushing on, because all of that will keep the pressure on Botha, and if he's on a last track warning, that could mean the big difference.
Absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's too much in the way of traffic. There's like maybe one car, an ST, just around going into the back straight there. But otherwise, it looks like it's fairly plain sailing for these front runners. But yeah, like it's a very interesting push and pull happening. Johnny just about holds on to it. Well, kind of tidies it up. Is able to hold on. I wonder if that's going to drop him back a little bit.
Where do you think the phrase squirrely comes from?
I would imagine due to the nature in which a squirrel kind of runs in a sort of wiggly wobbly wonder kind of way.
I hadn't thought about it like that, but I think you're probably right. The squirrely moment for old Jean Noir hasn't actually cost him anything in his chase of Botha. That's down to 2.1 now, but Anderson has got a bit closer. 1.0 the gap back to Anderson now, whereas it was 1.3. But Johnny continues the march forwards towards Botha. 4 minutes left. So he's going to have to get a move on if he wants to have a chance at Botha before the end of the race, or he's going to have to hope for some kind of divine intervention.
Yeah, that divine intervention could see itself in the form of a Lambo ST if it doesn't comply by the oNiD blue flag rules.
Gap up to 2.4, by the way, so just lost a bit through the final sector of the lap. Of course, some of that will be different parts of the lap where different cars are strong, I guess.
It could be. It could be indeed. We'll see as Botha runs a little bit. I always find it so hard to judge the lines into that corner. Some people like to kind of like go all the way out and then like tuck back in, whereas some people prefer.
Johnny's had a moment.
Oh, he has indeed, and he's dropped back to third.
He has, although he's right with Anderson down into the hairpin. I did want to go and find a replay of what happened, but we'll just see that. Now let's go and have a quick look at what happened with Johnny. So this is the first sector of the lap. Coming down into the very... Oh, he's just outbraked himself and then dropped it on the curb, trying to get going again. So it's unfortunate, and he's really come out side by side with Anderson, then gets pushed wide, goes around the sausage. That's what Van Rooyen should have done to avoid the sausage, and then we see the battle that we saw live just a moment ago. The cameras will return to live action in just a second. There we go. We are back live. But unfortunate stuff for Johnny as he gets up the inside of Tojan Anderson and gets the position back. So Johnny back up into second. Great move by the man behind oNiD Racing, and that was a dramatic lap for Johnny Hydra.
Absolutely, and that was great. As he kind of gets a bit squirrely on the exit. I was going to say it was a great lap for FedEx. Sent it into that hairpin.
Hey! Oh!
Yeah. Thank you, I'm here all week.
Indeed you are. You're, well, no, you're not this week because it's final evaluation time for GT4s. But when GT4s gets going again, it's me and you, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's it. The dream pairing people didn't realise they needed is going to happen in perpetuity. Yeah, no, looking forward to it, especially with the quality of racing that oNiD puts on. So I feel like you throw any of these lads into any series of cars and it's going to be great racing all the way through, as we have that gap to the lead edging up to about 6 seconds at this stage. So you would think both of us feeling fairly confident. He's approaching that back marker now. Johnny under some fierce pressure still, because they do have very similar pace as they have done for the last.
Goodness knows how many laps, yeah. But Johnny just holding off nicely down the back straight there. Anderson keeping himself within just a few tenths of Johnny as they come into the final part of the lap. So the next lap will be the last one for these guys, that both are coming out of the final corner now and across the line to start the final lap.
We are reaching heartbreaking territory for any potential drive-throughs that we'll see in this lap.
Oh, indeed, yeah, especially because this is the one where you just get the time penalty instead, which is absolutely brutal, but such is life. Talking of life, Anderson right up Johnny's chuff once again, and putting all of the pressure on the 69 car.
Absolutely. Looks to get a solid exit though. Never mind.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
If you haven't spotted it, switch away from this one. Lucas McNeil, sorry, Liam McNeil, I don't know where Lucas came from, has got KD and Marek Chittle right behind him, so D almost into the back of him, but they've got Arts and Ola in front of them who are battling a lap down in the Lambos. They need to be getting out of the way because it's blue flags territory here, but they're not. They're too busy battling, and Arts and Ola collide. And then Chittle is going through as well, and the Aston KD almost dropped it in the middle of all of that. McNeil gets through there quite nicely and gets away with that one, but Ola needs to be getting out of the way and does. The blue flags situation really not quite hitting home for everyone at this moment in time. Leader is finished.
Ideal.
Sorry, Hydra, you were going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say it isn't ideal, but fantastic win there for both Johnny coming through in second. Obviously, that's going to drop down a little bit once the penalty gets applied. Although it is only 30 seconds. Oh no, yeah, no, never mind. But yeah, no, we have Willie Black taking what's that, third place for the STs.
1, 2, 3. Yes, and he's already finished. We've just seen Ryan Davies across the line in 5th. Sam Roughton will be next up in the first of the Lexuses, or Lexi, if you will.
Or is it like Octopus, where it's like Lexapode or something?
Dave fulfilled his destiny in Split 1, so I assume that means that he had himself a drive-through. So Roughton comes out the final corner. and takes 6th. So Baz de Vroid takes your win in ST. Great result for Baz. Thanks to
What a
some of Chittil's
spectacular
issues.
drift.
It was lovely. Chittil across the line, KD across the line, Danny Medina across the line. I think it's just Ola to go. He'll be across the line anytime now, and that will be all she wrote. But Hydra, what exciting racing!
Absolutely, it was so tense. I think this race, more so than the support race, was just a lot more. There was just a tension there, especially because there was so few drive-throughs. It just meant that like the pressure to like not succumb to them was even greater. And unfortunately, for Johnny's situation, although unfortunately for Johnny, it did kind of mean that he succumbed to one there at the just the penultimate lap. But yeah, otherwise just fantastic racing all around. We had like the kind of pit strategies with Anderson staying out very long, holding on to that position on the track. That did seem to kind of work for his favor for a bit, but then by the end of it, both had just kind of steamrolled ahead.
Indeed. Well, Johnny, are you still with us?
Yep.
That's really unfortunate, mate. Really unfortunate, but a great drive from you all the same. Can you take any positives out of it?
The positive is that I can, if it's my worst result of the season so far. So if it stays this way, it will be a dropped round. It wasn't the greatest track for the BMW. I really had to drive it like it was the qualifying lap every lap. So yeah, it was just one of them things. But yeah, disappointing. I was on 3 warnings from before I pitted, so I did a good amount of the race on 3 warnings. It was just unfortunate. I'd been taking that corner pretty much the same way every time, and this one it obviously noticed I was up on my lap time, so it gave me a drive through. But hey ho, I didn't have the pace to keep up with Dirk. He was pretty steady. I could match his pace, but I couldn't beat his pace to get anywhere near him in the end. So it was probably
it's a good track for the McLaren, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and I can guarantee in Split 1 that Johnny Seville has won it by about 30 seconds. The McLaren is so strong around here, unbelievable.
Well, those of you in chat who have just finished in Split 1, tell us who took the win there. Because I wouldn't be surprised if that was the result as well. But yeah, we've seen some fantastic racing in Split 2 tonight. So we like to mix things up and make sure that Split 2 gets some love as well as Split 1 across the season. So good to have Split 2 broadcast this week. The result in Split 1 was Seville first, Beeson second, who I think is also in a McLaren.
Yeah.
And then our own Jimbo Mansi in third, who's in a BMW, same as you.
Yeah, good lad.
So that's your result from Split 1. Full results will, of course, be available later on this evening on simracing.gp. Head to the oNiD community on there. Yeah, Johnny, some really good racing throughout the night. What was your highlight for tonight?
Alex Parkin putting it in a wall.
Wow.
I didn't have the pace to keep up with either of them, so it was when he lost it early doors. It means I could pick up a position, but in the end it didn't really work out. But no, there was some really good racing. Me and Tojan's battle towards the end of the race was fantastic. I got a little bit loose and he managed to get past, and then me, I wasn't going to give that up easily, so I just had to send it into the bottom right-hander and just hope it stuck, and it did.
Well, as Hydra said at the time, FedEx sent it and delivered. There we go.
Same day delivery.
Yeah, exactly.
Same lap delivery.
Hydra, what was your highlight of the night?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the Anderson Johnny battle there was right up there. I think I did enjoy just the I suppose just like the kind of the pit strategy, like parking and were both very quick through the first kind of stint of it. Yeah, no, I think I'd have to go with also going for that Anderson Ashley battle that we had been treated to at the end there.
Do you know what my highlight of the night was? Actually qualifying for Split 2. It was up and down, side to side, like a roller coaster. It was really really interesting to watch, and there was one of sort of 4 or 5 people that could have snatched pole. So I certainly enjoyed bringing you the coverage of that qualifying session. But Hydra, I think we're just about done for this evening. Thank you so much for joining me and keeping me company this evening. I hope you've enjoyed yourself as well.
I have indeed. Thanks for inviting me on. It's always good to catch up with folks I've been chatting to on the Discord for a while. And I'm sure, like, actually, the other highlight for me was seeing lads that I've been racing like a number, like months, years, whatever, like that I had raced with on consoles. It's honestly great to see them racing in a PC, getting in amongst it, and like having fantastic races all the same.
Certainly is. Well, look, thank you to everyone who's been watching on the stream, those of you who got involved in chat as well. If you haven't given us a follow on Twitch before, then make sure to do it now, so that you can get a little notification when we go live again. There will be some more streams this week. There is a calendar of events and streams posted on our Discord and our socials each week. So go search yourself for oNiD Racing, and we'll be back with more coverage. Thanks as always to our channel partners: Go for the Gap, Caden Computers, Ben22 Racing, RacingStronger.com, and sim-stuff.com. And of course, all of this made possible by the superb platform that is simracing.gp. So thank you to all of those. Hydra, thank you for your attendance tonight. And guys, that has been oNiD Racing, over and out.